Good Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get airborne with solo Amazon. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend. Had a good weekend, man. And well, actually, my weekend kind of starts tonight because Susie. It doesn't matter the holiday, whether it's Christmas or Halloween. She might even like Halloween more. This place is completely Halloweened out. We are ground zero in our neighborhood. It's you were here for the first look. You kind of saw our neighborhood. They like bust people in to this neighborhood because Boca has a lot of filing cabinets on the beach, so it's hard to trick or treat, and it seems like a lot of people come to this neighborhood. So Susie, the front yard looks like a graveyard, and there's all a ton of people coming over. So I got leaves to blow and all sorts of stuff to do today. So not going to be doing too much trading. Take a couple snipers and get out of here. Phillies, we'll see. Good series, it looks like. Panthers not looking super good, but could always be worse. Spent Saturday night cleaning my weapons because of my daughter going to homecoming. Man, don't blink. It's scary. Literally, it's scary. It's so passe to say, right? Or so what that time flies. It just absolutely does. Oh yeah, Eagles. And it's funny because I'm back, right? Well, I'm not necessarily back. I still bunch of overly pretentious men getting paid obscene amount of money to play a game with a ball as an adult. I think they learn not to lecture the majority of their customer base and turn them off. So we'll see. But yeah, it's interesting. So let me yeah, this is that's my girl. That's Keely, obviously, and my other girl, Susie. And her friends, and yeah, that's my boy Jack with his girlfriend. So yeah, they are awesome kids, just good kids, and so of course when they went to the prom, I did a weapons inventory. Got some good stuff going on. We're gonna go. I'm flying up to Leesburg this weekend to do a blow up, shoot 'em up weekend with Orestes and a bunch of other guys with a bunch of L-39s, Marchettis and stuff like that. So hang out, smoke cigars, blow stuff up, fly jets. So going to be a good weekend. But Keely having two older brothers who play hockey's pretty is good. So I know that the older brothers can do some good work as well. All right. So what happened between the last time you and I talked and today? I mean, just holy Amazon, Batman. Holy crap. Not even pretty. Not even, it was heinous. Miss, top, bottom, the forward guidance, AWS, you name it. Trying to get filled on a sniper down here. A little stair step down. I think we rally. I don't think I got filled. Nope. The 38.40, 38.35 ran away from me. I was getting a little greedy. I had it up here at $1.30. I think it hit $1.30, didn't get filled, but now we've gotten a turn going here. So that's about all I'm going to do is a couple snipers today. All right, we'll dig into Amazon, but folks, what did I tell you? All the way back here. Let me go out a little bit. What did Uncle Wiz tell you? I said Amazon's going to hit 90. Good chance it hits 80 in this bearish cycle, this pulling the crack pipe away. Well, what did I think it got down to 92, was it, in after hours trading? You know, when the earnings initially came out, down to 92, and then, did it? Was there a print? So I nailed it. Thanks, Brent. I didn't track it all because I was busy, but I was like, holy crap. So 89. So I got it, man. I nailed it. I said, as people were up here like, holy shit, to the moon. I'm like, nah, I'm feeling 90. I even threw a maybe 80 in there. Where's 80? 80's down here, folks. So we are down. Where are we, folks? We are at the COVID. Remember this? Donald Trump had beaten back 2 impeachments. China surrendered in a trade war. Unemployment at record lows. Stock market at record highs. Oops, sorry. Right here. So unemployment at record lows. Stock market at record highs. Right there, folks. Remember Amazon? That was the good old days. I tell you that we will always remember Jan of 2020 as the good old days, and they were. But look at exactly where we are. There's the COVID crash, and we're below the COVID crash. Exactly. Does this thing keep freezing? I'm not doing that, guys. I keep showing my screen, and it keeps pausing. I, for one, salute our dear Chinese overlords that are trying to control this webinar. Wolverines. So there we are, man. We're below COVID. Well, no, I mean, there's COVID down here where this is all made up, folks. It happened. It's real. But this is all of that is fake. It's bullshit. And I watched that, what's his name? Scott Pelley or whatever. I rewatched that Scott Pelley interview where Jerome Powell does admit, he's like, yeah, Scott Pelley's like, would it be fair to say that you flooded the system with money? He's like, you could see a half a second Jerome Powell actually paused. He's like, can I get out of this one? Because I kind of did. He couldn't. He's like, yeah, that's a fair characterization. How do you make it? Well, we make it digitally. We buy treasuries, and sometimes we actually print money and send it to, Federal Reserve banks. So, well, Werner, I'm telling you who did this. It's Jerome Powell, folks. This is right here, man. Everybody remember, I could not have been more bullish right there. And that's not me looking at the left side of a chart. That's me sitting there Thursday morning. The weekly jobless number came out. That was 6 million. And I was getting ready to hit enter on sell the wife and kids, mortgage the house, and get as bearish as you can physically possible. And as soon as I finished the E impossible and I was getting ready to hit enter, what happened? Jerome Powell dropped the biggest financial nuke in history. And I said, get bullish. And what happened? We never looked back until now. What happened around here in April? People like Jeffrey Dunlop, who missed the down, also missed the up. I think we're going back down to these March lows, if not lower. I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not. You are all wrong. We are right. And we ended up being right. What am I mumbling about? I'm mumbling about this ain't over. Well, it might be. Let's start the brief, and then we'll get to where we're going. Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, Tuesdays, the podcasts are now dropping. Friday, I did a podcast with Justin Lepre from Heroic Path to Light, and it's going to blow you away. It's going to blow you away. Not to steal too much from it. Justin enlisted like in July, like summer of 2001. Yeah, no kidding. He's like, I was in the Chow Hall when the airplanes hit. He had already joined the Marine Corps, but it was like, so this young kid ended up, 2 combat tours, and he as a Marine, was in the Battle of Fallujah. He was an infantry squad leader. Horrific traumatic brain injury. Came back homeless on the streets of New York City. Guy found him, type of thing, almost like a Trading Places story, and gave him a chance. Found a Veterans Foundation, bought him a couple suits. He did an interview. Short story long, he went to Wall Street. Fixed income firm. He was like 10, 15 years on Wall Street, got his. Sound familiar? He's like, always wanted service above self. He went to Austin to be a firefighter. Got a Medal of Valor for saving a guy's life in a plane crash, but was always longing. Failed suicide attempt. Started exploring psilocybin on his own. 2018, started doing his own journeys. He'd video, he'd have his headset on and his eye shades, 6-hour journeys. He'd record. You want to talk about a psychonaut? Wait until you hear from Justin Lepre. Why am I rambling about this? Because I guess I donated a nice amount of money to Justin. So did No Fallen Heroes Foundation. Why? Because he is doing, this is the guy, the Heroic Path to Light is a church that uses entheogenic healing for veterans. And he has their first journey coming up November 7th to the 11th. So I paid, and the foundation paid also to sponsor 3 combat veterans. He's got, I think, 10 total, like 5 combat vets, 3 first responders, and a couple police officers who are all in some pretty, nobody's ever in bad shape, but they need some healing. I am asking you to, if you can, throw a couple shekels, man. You take a sniper shot today and it looks good, throw it to Justin. I told him I would reach, after I heard this whole story. I know Justin, I flew over to Houston, did an event with him for University of Texas, the Dell School of Medicine, the psychedelic wing. I immediately was latched on to this guy. He's a incredible human being. And we're gonna do some good things with him. So I'll give you the podcast when it drops tomorrow, and listen to his personal story, from his 5-MeO to his everything. So I am asking you to throw a couple shekels at Justin. This goes directly to a vet, a first responder, or a gold or white star spouse. Just wait until you hear his story. Enough foreshadowing, but I am asking you to, because we're helping until he gets his thing up and running. No Fallen Heroes Foundation is a pass through to the Heroic Path to Light. They have their thing, but they don't have what we have. So we're their sponsor foundation. So I'm asking you to put the ladder down to help some of these folks. And after they do their journey, first weekend, I might go over and hold space if he's got room. We'll see. We might have a couple of them on the podcast. So you literally can sponsor a veteran, combat veteran, a first responder, or a gold or white star spouse in November. All right, let's go. I had an incredible weekend. Not with everything I just told you about, but watching Twitter explode, the blue checks, this. Did you see Elon Musk? He's in Twitter, folks, digging around everything. Did you see a couple tweets yesterday? He's got like emails and screenshots and scream. They didn't do the whole Hillary. I don't think they had time. They never believed. They thought those 7,000 employees with that little blue bird, they were woke and they had absolute rule forever. There's no way in hell anybody's going to come in and look at our shit. Elon's already poking around. He already posted a couple screens of people, of executives going, do this, this, and this. And somebody responded like, you all know this is literally the opposite of what we're telling the court and Elon Musk, right? So he's like, stand by. This is going to get interesting. He's going to start charging the blue check marks, and they're all like, if I have to pay $20 a month, I'm going to leave. It's get on Twitter, even if you don't have an account. I'm supporting Elon Musk because this is, LeBron, like, I don't know Elon Musk, but I hear there's a lot of hate speech on this platform now. I can't stand that word. There's no such thing as hate speech, folks. Nothing. There's only speech. right? Just like this is misinformation. No, it isn't. It's information. Everything that you take in is information. How you process you, not me, how you process it. You can label it miss or hate. I don't care how you label it personally. That's you. So this weekend's been epic on Twitter. It's been so much fun. It's a sport. This guy is all over these people, man, and it's awesome. They never ever saw this coming, and they are in a lot of trouble. This Paul Pelosi attack, immediately within minutes, it came out. The guy's a MAGA, because San Francisco's MAGA country. There are so many. The person third in line to the presidency, has zero security at her house, zero security cameras, and no body camera on the cops. Oh, no. It does have security camera. Where's the footage? Cricket. Where's the body cam footage from the cops? Crickets. I've posted repeated interviews with his neighbors. Did you see the guy's house? Black Lives Matter. He's got an LGBTQ plus flag with a big pot leaf on it. All his neighbors are like, that dude was a left lunatic fringe, and we're lefties. Look at the one lady's interview. She's like, we're crazy lefties, and he made us look, conservative. So immediately it's AOC, everybody coming out like, oh, and by the way, they in this article, the cops, there's a bunch of cops like, glass goes in when somebody breaks in, not out. I mean, that glass could have been broken during the hammer fight, but there are so many weird things going on. And of course, Hillary Clinton immediately on Twitter this weekend, like, it's a hate crime, and Republicans, and Elon Musk is like, there might be just a little bit more. Now, he sent a link, of course, to what a lot of the rumors are, folks. Let's just, Paul Pelosi might have some problems. He might have some alcohol problems. He might be doing other stuff. And it sounds like this might have been an other stuff thing. Not making any accusations. I got a weird feeling about all of this. The cops came out and corrected their police report, because the initial police report says when we got there, an unidentified person opened the door and let us in. Then we saw two dudes in their underwear with hammers. And when we got there, the other guy attacked, Pelosi with the hammer. Like when the cops got there, it didn't happen before. And now they've changed to the police report. Oh, they made him, the responding officers didn't mean to put that somebody else opened the door. Oh. But I thought he was on the phone with 911 dispatcher. How did Paul Pelosi open the door if he's in the bathroom with his phone talking to the dispatcher? There's so much shit going on, folks, but the rush immediately to plant this on like the right. I condemn all violence. Look at me in Ukraine and Russia. I don't want violence. Political violence is a disgrace. But you knew this was going to happen. Immediately they come out like it's MAGA country. It's Paul Smollett at this point. Wait for the facts, folks. But the people that came out immediately, like right in front of the election, I'll give you the link. There are so many inconsistencies, folks. It's a Smollett thing. So anyway, that was the most bizarre thing that happened over the weekend. If the guy sounds like he got hurt or maybe hit in the head, he had to have some surgery. My God, man, God bless him, and I hope he recovers. But I'm a truth guy. I want to know exactly what happened. Cops changing. There you go. That sniper would have been nice. Did it ever get filled? There's a turn. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. There you go. There's $1,200 in 12 minutes. You could close that sniper for 50% profit right now and be done with the day like I would do, which I'm going to do. So there you go. 50% in 12 minutes. Take it. All right. And I got to start with something like that, folks, because it's right in front of the election. The election's coming. think it was. What time did I get filled on that? Well, that's close enough. Boop, boop, boop. Looks like everybody else is doing some snipers in here. There we go. Once we get a little rally going, might do a little bear call spread. All right. Another conspiracy theory out of Wiz, proven true. I'll say this is fact now until I'm proven wrong. The Brits blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Fact. Liz Truss, the prime minister for 48 hours, however long that was, Liz Truss, her phone was hacked. Within a minute of the Nord Stream pipeline blowing up, she sent a text to our Secretary of State that said, it's done. Oh, you didn't hear this in the media this weekend? Oh, boy. You need to, yeah. Mobile phones are inherently insecure. I mean, people are like, oh, I don't believe this. This is, how can she, as the prime minister, have a phone? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't remember Hillary Clinton having her own private server in her bathtub and using Gmail? Are you people stupid? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. Remember Barack Hussein Obama? I'm not giving up my BlackBerry. You national security people need to figure out how to make my phone unhackable. You don't even want to know what potentially was in his phone. That is a conspiracy theory. But ladies and gentlemen, within a minute of the Nord Stream pipeline blowing up, Liz Truss said it's done to Anthony Blinken. You're welcome. Wiz conspiracy theories proving true, 998. Oh, the Russians do it. You mean the Russians who have an on-off switch at the other end that could click off? They blew it up. Yes, because it's reverse strategery red flagism. False flag, not red flag. Oh, yes. Now I'm tracking you. We're blowing up gas pipelines to Europe. How's that going to turn out? Oh, I think it's going to turn out just like this. Let's get out of NATO. Discontent soars across Europe as Russian sanctions backfire. Not seeing this in the U.S. media, are you? All the protests, the demands, the this. It ain't even cold yet, folks. Let's get out of NATO. Finland says Ukrainian weapons are ending up in the hands of criminal gangs running around Finland. You need a background check in America. You can't get a gun in this country. We're airdropping weapons throughout Europe. The same, I got my Vax profile picture with the Ukrainian flag demanding weapons and arms control in this country, have zero problems with just throwing it into a corrupt country like Ukraine. I'm shocked that weapons designated to go to the front lines to fight Russians aren't going to the front lines to fight Russians. Are we fucking stupid? Yes. Yes, we are, Wiz. I think I said at the beginning, I would not be surprised if one day an airliner or something is taken down by a weapon we gave to Ukraine. Anyway. So last week, this was shocking. And again, you won't see this on CNN. In a stunning strategy reversal, the Pentagon will no longer rule out the use of nukes against a non-nuke threat. Read that again, but slowly. The only country in the world that has used a weapon of mass destruction on that scale, besides chemical and biological weapons, biggest biological weapon attack was COVID on the world by the Chinese. We have changed our no first use and sole purpose policies. Can you believe this? Could you imagine Donald J. Trump changing our nuclear posture like this? They would have fucking impeached him in 32 seconds. For 4 years, I was yelled at by the people on the left that said Donald Trump's going to get us into World War III. He's gone. Democrats, we have to get into World War III. Can you believe, did you see this in the news? We have gone from, hey man, these things are so insane, we would never use them except if somebody went insane on us. To, no, you know what? We might use them. Yeah. Trust me, folks, there are so many people who are like, dude, you taught me how to trade options years ago. I don't go anywhere because I need this news because I don't get it. More people get their news from Wiz than any other. Unbelievable, folks. You read this. And it plays right into Putin's hand, right? He's like, hey, world, I'm the bad guy. He is, but I'm the bad guy when the only country on the face of the planet that's murdered millions of people in the flash of an eye is now back to saying we're going to use these whenever we want. Okay. Wow. I just put the link in there, I thought. Folks, this is shocking. This is stunning. If I was the head of the Armed Services Committee, I'd be demanding an investigation. Secretary of Defense, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And by the way, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, let me see your cell phone. Liz Truss sent you a text after the Nord Stream blown up saying it's. Oh, and by the way, hours after you got that text from her, you're at a news conference going, this is great news for us. You're a conspiracy theorist. Finish the Ukraine part of the brief, Wiz, with however you always finish it. This will get worse. People trying to de-escalate are actually escalating. Okay. That's where we are now, Wiz. You talk peace and you're the enemy. Okay. And I might be to a lot of people. I'm not. So, here we go. This is a we got this Yahoo article was really good. It puts the 4 things that I care about in one article or one little briefing thing. Jittery stock traders eye 4 days that will sow the market's fate. What is the big? This is ladies and gentlemen, this week is what? A Fed meeting. November 2nd, Wednesday, folks. Everybody and my mother believe, yep, you could have taken that bear call spread sniper. I was in the zone on Ukraine. 70 it's 75. However, there are some, my network, some people posted in the Max Afterburner that what? Folks, that there was a good post up here somewhere. You ready? Tony, good intel from Tony. If I had to pick out one headline for the week that telegraphed a Powell pullback from his ultra hawkish stance, it was this one. BlackRock. Sound familiar? BlackRock economists are telling their FAs that this Fed meeting will include pivot language. What? If there's one guy that would know if this is going to happen, it would be who? Larry Fink. Because he's the skipper of BlackRock. Do you remember, ladies and gentlemen, the emails that I showed you between who? Jerome Powell and who? Larry Fink. Do you remember my tirade for that week? Like, I run a financial firm. How come I don't have what's the Fed and the email addresses? Everybody give me a vertical head nod. It was him and like Blackstone or whoever. He It was like, hey, Jerome, give me a call, man. What the fuck? You're a public employee. What was on those phone calls? Whoa. And last week, what do we talk about? He's getting destroyed from TP and oh my God, nobody saw that he would be thrown out of under the bus in front of the election. So today I'll lay out the reasons why Powell will pull back a little bit. So ladies and gentlemen, out of phase, out of plane. This is how you dogfight. So as we get ready, we're already in it. As we get ready to enter a real recession, we're already in it. Wiz, stop it. As we're getting ready to enter a recession and the economy's slowing and the tech companies are getting destroyed, $3 trillion out of tech names, losses, right? From, hey, everything's great, to me saying Joe Biden sophomore year, shit show, train wreck, bear market, recession. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. $3 trillion, folks. That's a little bit of a wealth effect. Holy shit, man. My 401k is a 0.5K. Yeah. It hit me the other day. I think I get quarterly statements from the kids' college funds. I'm like, whoa. I don't do any of that other stuff. I'm here. Whoa. I'm like looking at their college funds like, holy shit, man. So what happens this week? We're getting 75, right? Obviously, we're getting 75.
The comment sometimes on.
I didn't turn off everybody's microphones.
There
we go. So we got 4 big centers of gravity. The Fed rate decision. Then what do we get? Jobs on Friday. Wow. And then we get the midterms, and then the inflation. I think it's next week, the next CPI. Ladies and gentlemen, man, this is insane. Fed meeting and jobs this week. Unbelievable week. Oh, there it is. It was in the journal. $3 trillion off market values. Tech. Apple is the only thing holding up this stock market. Wow. Amazon is out. Well, maybe today with it being up a little bit or whatever it's doing, it's back in the trillion. It went below $1 trillion market cap. Remember celebrating it? Wow. Unbelievable. I don't even want to talk about Meta. On the ski lift in Aspen years ago, I'm like, the stock is going to implode. I laid it all out. I gave you my commit criteria years ago. That was my big short. Sell the F out of Facebook. It's going to implode. It's gone from what, $365 to whatever, 90. Wow. We talked about this last week. This is where you need to be. This is an accelerated retirement, but guess what? You need to be in an accelerated retirement. Start doing the wagon wheel on ConocoPhillips and Exxon, COP and XOM. Comp and XOM. The Exxon's just they're printing money. It doesn't matter that Joe Biden excoriates this is where you need to be. The new tech is energy. Jim Cramer last week, good on the guy for, I respect anybody who gets up and says they were wrong. It's I was wrong. He was kind of crying. It was very interesting. He said, I trusted the company. This is how you know, folks. Jim Cramer. I've been doing this. I've been at Goldman Sachs and hedge fund and all sorts of other shit. When that guy gets just kicked in the face, I trusted the management team. I this, that, and the other thing, and it all turned out to be bullshit. This is why you're in solo Amazon. This is why I told you when we had analysts at our firm in Chicago, I'm like, dude, you had one job. You know, you're supposed to know like 3 to 5 names like they're your kids. And Meta, a joke. So let's get human beings sitting on their couch with a thing on their face, getting fat and eating Cheetos in a fake world. What a great business model. That's the future, Wiz. It ain't mine. It's the future. Well, maybe if we keep polluting the planet and the machines become self-aware and they want us to like just provide them energy like in the Matrix, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I know a dude, a lady, a thing that created a pretty fucking cool thing called the universe. And it's really cool. Like if you take off that headset and you go out, there's like a beach, there's a mountain, there's people. Well, some people suck. But anyway, it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's the worst thing I've ever seen, and it's dumb. $9 billion this year or whatever it was he spent on it. Are you insane? Yet my Top Gun Options account is still shadow banned. They're hemorrhaging money, and I used to spend a shitload of money on Facebook. This is why you short. This is how I get shorts. When they don't care about a customer's money, short the shit out of that company. Keep shorting it. Facebook's done, man. Stocks can go to zero. That one can go to zero. It doesn't own stuff. It owns the metaverse. This is around the time stupid people also came to me. Did you hear that somebody just bought, some property in the metaverse for a couple $1 million? I'm like, was it the same guy who bought a JPEG of an ape for $2.3 million and is trying to sell it for $1,000? Are people this fucking stupid? My God, man, this is awful. Again, I might be old and stodgy, but my JetBlue brother who flies in the airshow circuit now, you got to get Bitcoin, man. It's unhackable, and Uncle Sam doesn't know about it. You can do this and everything. I'm like, well, say that again? You can make money off of it, and Uncle Sam doesn't know about it? Okay, dude. Pull this leg and it plays Jingle Bells. Amazon's holiday blues come home early and hard. The forecast was heartbreaking. So I did a good job not getting it filled on the spread. That was up 50%. I did a good job dogfighting Amazon last week, and then boom, the bull put spread that I had on, part of a second iron condor, got destroyed. Thankfully, I made more money in all the other dogfighting things that it wasn't, the max loss on that wasn't, I forget what it was. Well, I'm still up in Amazon for the month. So yeah, it was profit. My trades last week in Amazon were profitable. Didn't get fully kicked in the teeth. But as Tamara brought up last week, most of the time I say what? And she was right to call me out on that one. Don't hold it through earnings. If you did a good job dogfighting and having profit, you should have grabbed popcorn and watched earnings. Needed to listen to myself. But again, profitable. 87.59. Thanks, Goose. So what's it doing today? This, and we're about to break. Guys, I'm telling you, man, I feel like Han Solo right now. I got a bad feeling about it. It's not a bad feeling, actually. It's a good feeling. When we've been right, pounding something into the dirt, Wiz, it's not a bad feeling. I have a good feeling about Amazon. What's the good feeling? It's going to go down to 80. Okay. We'll get to Amazon trades in a second. Is there anything else I need to brief? No. I mean, that says it all. I mean, missing on revenue, disappointing. AWS, this is what shocked me the most. AWS, it's Microsoft. AWS is its own Microsoft, and the guidance is what got me. Now, I'm not going to get in on the numbers. I keep digging through the shit to try and find the pony, because there isn't one. There wasn't a pony in there, folks. Couple schools of thought. If you liked Amazon up at 146 or 140 or whatever, if you liked it down there, up here, you love Amazon at 100. Right? That makes intuitively, that makes sense. If you're long-term bullish on Amazon, you add to Amazon down here. The old dollar cost averaging thing. That's if you believe it can return to its former glory. Right? So, there ain't no below, folks. It's look out below. 80. I told you up here. I said, I'm feeling a 90 on Amazon. Nailed it. And I put in parentheses or a comma after that. I said, to be honest, and I drew the shit. I said down to 80. And I also said, if or when it gets down here, I'd buy it with both hands. And I'm going to. Not today and not yet, because I still think there's lower to go. All right, now let's go. Like we talked about last week, right here, I said we're probably gonna hit the 100. So we hit the 50, gave a little bit back, then up to the 100, gave a little bit back. So, couple schools of thought. Let's talk through it. Good call this weekend, and couple things. So the Fed softening language is a real, I was going to say threat. It's a real thing, as many of you point out. The Fed's not political. Okay. There might be, according to the Fed whisperers, some porridge in his remarks. Remember two things: the announcement, 75. If it's a point, I think it's pretty low that it's a full point. You would expect to see some Fed lieutenants running around right now going, it's going to be a lot more aggressive than you kind of think. Boom. So I don't think it's a point. I think it's 75. I don't think it's 50 either. So we get what we're thinking we get. They were who we thought they were. And the spoken word out of Jerome might be soft. But let's start with everything. It might be hard. It's 75 and they're going to keep on coming. That's not good news. That's a leg down. So, Eric, I'm going to answer your question in a roundabout way here, because this could be, you ready? Listen, we just talked about jobs, the 4 big centers of gravity, man, that we're focusing on. The FOMC announcement, the rate decision, right? Jobs, the midterms coming up next week, and then inflation. These are the 4 big centers of gravity. Okay, so if we get there's look at the left side of the chart, folks. There's violence in this market. This is not this from COVID or going into COVID. This is what we called months ago vol. This is a volatile market. I made a bearish call back there. This was a bull market rally, bearish, but here's what I'm getting at. We're not going to do this with the Fed, with the inflation numbers, with the election, any of those things, and the inflation print whenever the next CPI is. This isn't going to happen. This or this is going to happen. It ain't going to be this, man. I guarantee you. So let's talk through this. How do we get a this? The PP, so to speak. The PAL pivot. The PAL pivot. No, Christine, no. I mean, that would be, if they delay any release of economic data, then he will be impeached when the Republicans win the House. I mean, he already tried to beg the Saudis to interfere in our election. No, I've never seen that before. They can manipulate the data. We've seen that with the Obama jobs number, but this data could be manipulated. So the PAL pivot, the RW, the red wave, and you ready for this? Weak NFP. What are you talking about? If the jobs number's bad, the market would go up. What are you, new here? That's exactly what this market needs to go up. Hold on. Yeah. Jerome Powell and the Fed want to see people in pain. He said that here in Jackson Hole. So we get a pal pivot, some sort of, he ain't gonna go, hey, we're done raising rates and here's some QE. He's gonna, just one or two words that aren't super hawkish is we will see as a pivot. Remember these? Like Lal Brainerd here. Remember her little talk? She said she was nothing but hawkish. And then one sentence, she said, yeah, but we don't want to overshoot. And the market's like, did you hear that one? And went on this rip your face off rally. And then Jerome had to come out and clean it up. The market is looking for any little shred of a pivot or something dovish. We're used to the hawkish right now, aren't we? We're used to Jerome Powell testifying. Well, we got it wasn't transitory. We got it wrong. We printed a lot. All they're doing is beating themselves up at this point. We seize on any little, yeah, but things could get better. Ha ha. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's your chart for up. So, Eric, first of all, even if Amazon does pull back to 90 or 80, it's going to be at 100 again someday, right? Unless we just get all disintegrated in a nuke, because that's what our posture is now. We're going to use nukes even if somebody doesn't use a nuke against us. What? The level, not going to happen. Not going to do it. What's the down case? Okay. The down case is the Fed this week. It's a 75 and hawkish. There is no sentence, shred, comma, but it's hawk and hawk. The odds of them doing that before people go into the ballot box, am I that shrewd? You could reload your bull put spread on SPX. Am I that shrewd? Yeah, I am. It's almost like the Fed wants to enter a quiet period in front of the election. It doesn't matter if Jerome Powell bows to the mob and, I won't say anything in front of the election. They're still coming for him. I can already start writing. We could whiteboard this out right now. The Democrats' debriefing points of why they lost. It will never be their policies. It will be elections rigged. It's Jerome Powell. It's Putin. It will be everything but their policies. When Republicans lose, what do? It was the dude or the lady. They sucked. Wrong candidate. Most of them, take responsibility. Others, it's everybody else. So, Fed could be hawkish, 75 and hawkish. What else? Blowout jobs numbers. I'm confused. Wouldn't really good jobs numbers be bullish? No, that's why you're here. No, they would not. If we get blowout job numbers to the upside, you'll see Janet and Joe running around and Kamala cackling about it. And then you'll see the market implode. That's why you're here, folks. Most retail traders sitting at home in their bunny slippers trading by themselves would be like, why is the market going down? The president says the jobs number was good. Blowout non-farm payroll is one, and also no Powell pivot. We're raising, baby. I don't know where you guys are getting this idea that I'm stopping anytime soon. Let me just tamp that down right here. Now, I'm running out of room on my screen. We said RW. There ain't no down for that. There ain't going to be a blue wave, folks. There ain't no blue wave. The market loves, I've been doing this for 3 decades. The market loves divided government. They love divided government, or they love Republicans, period. They're usually pro-business, anti-regulation, blah, blah, blah. So, now, get to the inflation. I think the CPI is next, whatever. Somebody can look it up real quick. If that comes in raging hot, even with kind of a little red wave pop here, this is going to get ugly. So, I'm a briefer, folks. I'll brief you, then tell you what I'm going to do. There is a lot of uncertainty in here. Once things are known, look at this. We're going to be in a nice little trading range here. up to 38.75, down to about 38.60. You'll get a breakout soon, but these are good little sniper shots you can be taking. Get a couple of these each day, and you're good. So I feel like the Joker right now. There is a lot of uncertainty. Step one, you guys know I always do, is this. If you are uncertain, don't be gambling, and don't be walking up to the table going, "Hey, what's going on? Can I just put some money down?" Yeah, you can, and you shouldn't. So, lot of uncertainty. Awesome. Thanks, Frank. So after the election, we're going to get another inflation number. So, not if, when Speaker, what's his name, McCarthy takes the gavel, I hope he doesn't hit Nancy Pelosi with it like he joked one time. They always seize on that, right? We need to be more careful in our words as leaders, right? As political leaders, but both sides of the aisle, the rhetoric is just needs to be dialed down. Well, the adults are in charge. Joe Biden's here. Okay. I love Joe Biden as president. You jackass. What just an angry, bitter old man. So, couple things to do. I know we're in solo Amazon, but if I ain't seeing an Amazon, folks, I'm bearish on Amazon right now. For a little tactically bearish. If you're selling upside calls against your Amazon long, go, a couple bucks out of the money. Maybe some, excuse me, is there premium in the 10, excuse me, after Friday, the 105s? Wow, there's a lot of premium. I've been doing 5 contracts every week, folks. You can bring in $850 is what we've been doing just about every week. Except the weeks where it gets blown out, and there hasn't been too many of those times. 52 weeks. You can make 44 grand, folks, selling these short calls against your Amazon synthetic stock. The first thing I would do on Amazon is sell 5 upside calls against the long synthetic stock. The second thing we could do, folks, is if you're new, add a synthetic stock. Well, Wiz, I didn't get into the synthetic stock back when it was up at the 140s. Now I liked it up there, and now I love it down here. Go watch that lecture. Go watch the lecture on how to do synthetic stock, because I went way too long and I want to cover something else. So go to the solo Amazon page. Watch me as we mapped. How long ago was that? We had like 6-7 weeks of just destroying Amazon with spreads. Obviously a losing trade in there every once in a while, but these were, I think, knock on wood, all of the short calls except for maybe 1 week, and you just eject out of those. Man, it's months ago. Holy shit, man. New bear call spread. Burner trade opportunity. We pounded this thing into the dirt lately. This is why you trade options, folks. You learn how to make money as something's going down. There it is. Holy shit, up at 142. But again, we have this long position at 142. What have we done every week? Sold short calls against it, made about 800, round up. When was this? 8 August. We're almost, let's just round up and say 8 November, right? September, October, November. 3 months. 15 times 850. 15 weeks times $850. You could have potentially brought in 13 grand just selling short calls against this long. That's not including all the profits we have had from spreads. Now, the underlying is obviously down if you did the 142.5, but every day that goes by, you do what? Or every week that goes by, you're lowering your cost basis. Sound? Okay. Can you guys hear me? My mic isn't off. Okay. Guys, I don't know what's going on with its go to training. I'm not touching any mic controls. So let's go. So watch. Wiz, why would I watch this when you did it at 142.5? Because it doesn't matter. scroll down here and watch the replay. Watch the replay, because where would the synthetic stock be today? At 101 or 102. Delete 142.5 out of that brief and make it the 102 strike, and there's your synthetic stock. I just heard or saw somebody say they put synthetic stock on Friday. That was a great call. Okay? Now would be a great time. Unless you're listening to me and the out of the vector diagram or Venn diagram. Remember the vice president? I love all those circles. What? Whatever. She's rolling. I think we got lower to go on Amazon, but I could be wrong. We get a Powell pivot this week of blah, blah, blah. It could rip higher, and then I'll miss out on a couple points. But me, you got to fly and fight your own airplane, man. Not me. Excuse me. There's a couple potential Amazon trades. I want to look more into this. Okay. Volatility. We did like a VXX, like Iron Condor recently, where we kind of, dogfighting. Let's go VIX. The volatility coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do kind of the 20s, 30s, 35. Folks, every time we see a smash in volatility, something freaks the market out. Smash in volatility, kind of, whoa, freak out. We can definitely go lower, folks. Jerome Powell can, hey, man, I am going to pivot. Inflation's fine. I don't mind everybody burning to death. And the market rallied this week. So, but with the Fed meeting this week, I'm liking a little bit of being a little bullish. Well, but if they come out and they do a little hawk, you know what? I just talk myself. See, I love talking through my commit criteria out loud because then I kind of red team it on my own. Let's go back to Amazon. Mike, yeah. You go out to, I would not, you know what? I'm not going to do a volatility trade. I was actually going to get bullish on volatility. You could do both. We could look at an Iron Condor on volatility. Like, hey, as long as it stays on the football field, it can run all over the place. But yeah, folks, for your synthetic stock on Amazon, it would be out to January of 2025. Yes. So, and yeah, you could do what Goose is doing. Do the wagon wheel. Sell some cash secured puts on Amazon, right? Go out a little bit and sell some cash secured puts on Amazon. Maybe I'll just do that real quick. Maybe I'll do a quick synthetic stock to show you what it would. And I think the initial synthetic stock we did on Amazon were these Junes. I tend to, whenever there's a new strike, new expiration on the name that I'm really bullish in long term, I use that one. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to blow through it because you can watch the training. Let's do synthetic stock on Amazon. We fly all the way out into the future. I'll do this in the training account. But I think we got a little bit ways down to go. How do you get bullish on something? You can sell a put. How do you get bullish on something? You can buy a call. When you sell a put and buy a call with the same expiration and same strike, you get what? Synthetic stock. There is the P&L for stock. There's the P&L for synthetic stock. Okay? If you tried to buy 100 shares of Amazon right now, how much would it cost, right? Well, you can do the same thing and get synthetically long. Let's just buy. You wanted to buy 100 shares of Amazon, it's $10,000. I don't have $10,000. Good, because I wouldn't do that either. I would do synthetic stock. Buy a call and sell a put. So in spending, it wasn't like $10,185. Look at that. I just gave you a 90% discount on that. But look, your max potential loss is what? E-Trade is sitting here going, hey, man, by January of 2025, Amazon could be at zero. They're right. Is it possible Amazon's at zero in 2 years? Yeah. Is it probable? No. There we go. You're done. There's a 0.0000001 chance of that happening. So you're saying there's a chance. So let's actually put some real numbers in here, maybe 5 contracts. Okay. Whoa, Wiz, I don't want to risk 55 grand. Blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I also put underneath the stock something called a protective put. And I do it for 2 reasons. One reason is to protect this long. Right now on your screen, I am synthetically long Amazon. Well, what if Amazon does go to zero? We're going to put on a protective put. But a protective put also does what? It warns me that, first of all, my underlying is imploding, but it can also do what for me? It's going to not only reduce my risk, but it's going to reduce my margin requirement. So I'm going to add option, and I'm going to buy 5 of the Jan 25 what? 80 puts. The hell did you do that? Folks, sometimes I call it a disaster put. What do you define as a disaster? Some people might say, oh my God, if the stock goes down 5%, 10%. Me? Nuh-uh. A disaster is 20%. A disaster is a bear market, right? The classic definition, until Democrats change that too, is a bear market, or a bear market in a stock is in a bear market if what? 20% decline. So, Eric, I did say that. Amazon can't go to zero, guys. It's physically impossible unless every warehouse is valued at zero, and every airplane that they own, they lease a lot of them, but they own stuff, folks. They own trucks. They own stuff. So you can always sell stuff to make money. So, Wiz, you were risking 55 grand. Now how much are you risking? 20. I cut the risk in the synthetic stock to half by putting on the protective put. However, well, Wiz, my cost went up from the grand to 10. Yeah, well, I also did 5 contracts, so let's just throw 1 in here then. 1 contract. Now you're spending 2, right? And your risk is 4. You could do 1 contract in Amazon, folks. This is awesome. Remember when it was a $3,000, $3,800 stock? Yeah. Now we can get in this name. You could have always gotten in this name, but you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to stick with 5 for this. I might even do 10 for the model portfolio here. I don't mind. In the solo Amazon portfolio, something like this. 5. I'm sticking with 5. That's a little much for this portfolio. 5, 5, 5. Now, on your screen, folks, right here, these first 2 legs is what? Synthetic stock. There's the disaster put. How else can we bring in a little bit of money? We can sell a front month. What's the front month? You're sitting in the front month. Why don't we sell a Friday 105 call like I was just talking about? Right? 5 times 130. I think I did a different strike. 5 times 138 equals $690. Let's do the 104s. Ladies and gentlemen, on your call, on your screen right now is essentially a collar, right? You're long the stock. Let me grab my little. This is the synthetic stock. There's your disaster put. And there's your short call. This is all one trade, by the way, but you could kind of look at it as a couple trades, but a really wide bull put spread type of thing. There's a bunch of ways you can break this up. And ignore what's on your screen right now, because E-Trade is awful with how they do the calculations around what is on your screen right now. So This is the if I just walked into a solo, we got to do a solo Amazon brief because we usually do it after full throttle launches, and I forgot. This on your screen right now, folks. If you were new to solo Amazon, I don't think we have a lot of new folks. Or no, we've had some new folks since Amazon synthetic stock, since we put on the last one. This is the one I would put on. Oh yeah, thank you. Good catch. You are right, folks. So, thank you for the mutual support. This is the trade, not the one I was just rambling about. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you're spending money on this trade. I think I was spending what, like 10,000, couple $100. Now look at the cost basis. I'm not spending that much. Isn't that awesome? So there we go. I think this trade before I added the short call right there was what? It was like 10,185, whatever it was. I just reduced the cost. Every week we can sell the upside call against the long, except if it goes on a tear. Then we enjoy our synthetic stock making money. Okay? You treat, just some quick management here, you treat the short call as you will what? I just got filled on the SPX spread at my 50% profit. That's why you keep those orders in, man. Save as Amazon short call 1031. And you're going to have to walk this trade on up, folks, to get filled. Meaning I ain't going to get filled down there at 918. It's a debit, so you're going to have to walk this trade up little by little to get filled on it. Amazon. It's essentially a synthetic collar. You can do one contract, you could do 5, you could do 1 million. That's between you and God. Okay. Now we can kind of sit here and walk it on up to see if anybody's doing this. Let us know what you do or what you get filled at. This is good mutual support. So there you go, folks. If you logged in a little bit, or not even a little bit early, I did that one live. So there you go at 10:09, and it finally got filled later. I didn't get filled right away, but 88 times 15 contracts, man. That's a nice profit for the day, and you can be done. I got to go clean and get ready for Halloween. We're going to have to walk this one up. Where's the magic place? It used to be Disney, but it isn't anymore. So I'm going up. I don't know, folks. There's a magical spot between the mid and the ask. You just gotta walk it up little by little. Unless the guy, gal, bot on the other side of the trade is an idiot, you're not going to get filled on this trade, and it's green immediately, unless something really weird happened. This is a debit. You have to come out of pocket a little bit, right? So, and I told you I think it's going to go down to 80. What did I say? I said I wouldn't do. I said I'm putting this in a training account. I believe, I've said this repeatedly, I believe Amazon has lower to go. However, I could be completely wrong. The Fed could come out this week, Jerome's pivoting, everything's great, and it never sees 80 again. There's a possibility if you know, and again, man, we're talking Ukraine nuclear, there's some crazy shit that could bring this down to 80. But, folks, if it does, let me collapse this real quick. If it goes down to 80, man, first of all, it's going to go down to 80 for a reason. Stocks just don't randomly, I'm just going to implode. I mean, firms can push something down, right? Going after Paulson and his GLD ETF. But that's like Axe Capital type of shit. But what I'm saying, folks, even if it goes down to 80, it's Amazon. By January 2025, do I think it's back above 80 or 90? Yeah, it better be. I mean, you know, things go up, things go down. business cycles. This is a market. So yes, if you are listening to all parts of my brief, you heard me say this a lot. So maybe you sit here and wait for 80. I don't know if it's going to, if Amazon folks, that's another 20% drop. Let me give you and then I'll get going. I'm sorry I went late. I've got to be better with my time on solo Amazon, but I get my groove. Folks, I'll say this again. Me, Jamie Dimon, a lot of other smart people say what? We got another 20% to go down in this market, unless Jerome on Wednesday is a little more loving and less pain, a little less Clubber Lang. All right, now the S&P is going to get on a tear. Either buy some calls for today or put on a bull put spread. Fire a sniper there. So, Ann, long rambling question, answer your short question. If a lot of what I brief in my strategic opening comes true, we got another 20% to go down. All that matters domestically is the Fed. If they throw out some sort of pivot stuff, yeah. Dennis, if Amazon implodes down towards 80, what do I do with those puts? I bought the puts. No. Somebody sold me those puts. So what do I call these? These are disaster puts, folks. There's been one time in the history of Wiz where disaster puts were green. So if you look at your synthetic stock, folks, one day you wake up and your disaster puts are green, that means the overall trade's getting hammered. What do? I use the disaster puts as kind of a warning light in my cockpit, like, holy shit, why are my disaster puts green? Time for you to evaluate. My disaster puts are making money. Shouldn't be doing that. Should I eject out of this name? So step one with your disaster puts is evaluate why they're green. Step two, Dennis, in this case, is if you like the name and your disaster puts are green, what do? I close those puts and take the profit on those puts and I buy more. When did this happen? Right around another tech stock with a name that began with an A that broke 100 and went down to 90. Somebody help me with that name. Who was here a couple years ago? Who saw me do this? It's really quick to type. You should have typed it already by now. Apple. Everybody remember Apple? When it broke like 100? I had disaster puts down at 80, folks. I had disaster puts at 80, and I'm like, it's Apple. If it was a shitty name and my disaster puts were flashing green, usually flashing green in the cockpit isn't a bad warning, so I'm inverted with my warning lights. Most warning and caution lights are either red or yellow. They're not green. In this case, it's green. So when the Apple puts were flashing green on my screen and the Apple synthetic stock was getting destroyed, I'm like, should I eject out of Apple? And I said no. And I took the put profit, bought more long Apple, and put on new disaster puts 20% underneath it. Does that make sense, Dennis? So I bought the disaster puts. Somebody sold them to me. In order to get out of it, I would have to sell those disaster puts. All right, let's walk up a little bit. Let's go to 2050. This is what I do, man. This is what I do. I call to walk it on up. When I had my place down in Fort Lauderdale, kind of using it as my office as well, what did I do? I'd place a trade in this brief. I'd get in the elevator. I'd go down on Las Olas, stroll around, go to Starbucks before they became horrible liberal pieces of shit. I'd talk to people who didn't want to talk to me, hang out, go up to the roof of the icon, look at the beach. Then I'd come back and look at my screen and go, okay, I'm not filled. Add a little bit more. If you, ladies and gentlemen, click, hey, fill me at the ask, you will get filled quicker than you can say the word filled. An idiot light flashes on everybody's screen that goes, oh my God. But if you want to get into it, it looks like we might have to come up to the ask. That's up to you. Right? If you can get filled at the ask, man, but it's immediately gonna show a loss. Let's do it. I'll do it. And sometimes, well, there you go. So let's immediately go over, and it's losing money. Boom. That's the way that should have happened. I'm already down a little bit. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is out to what year? A couple years from now. So am I really upset that I'm down $650 to start the trade? Nah. If you care, if that's, you're going to be an awful trader. But that's the example that I'm giving you, is walking it on up. Exactly, Eric. That's where the market makers live. That's what makes the grass grow. I went 43 minutes longer than I was supposed to, but long weekend, a lot going on in the market. Nice sniper shot today. Good looking. This is the solo Amazon portfolio, but I show you sniper shots in this portfolio if we're in a brief, and they're doing pretty good. And we're doing really good in Amazon. So solo Amazon's looking really good month to date, 16 grand. That ain't shabby. That just paid for your lifetime membership, your old lifetime membership, because the new one is up. Got an email over the weekend, little comical. Hey man, that thing's still, yeah, it's currently this price. Oh, come, yeah. I don't speak for my, a matter of fact, I'm done speaking. Let's do that. All right, man. I'm going to ask you one more time. They need your help. The heroic path to light. 4 or 5 combat veterans, a couple first responders, and a couple police officers who are also veterans. And I'll let you know when our podcast drops. It should be tomorrow. But I think this is awesome. Justin Lepre, heroic path to light. I mean, it's just sad, isn't it, that you have to start a church to be able to use entheogenic medicine in the United States. Didn't we fight a war? Didn't we start this country on religious freedom? I mean, what an absolute disgrace that the federal government's like, hey, American Indians, you can't use that stuff in your religious ceremonies. Excuse me? We were here first, and we've been talking to our God. I don't know who you guys worship, but our God gives us this stuff from the earth, and we take care of the earth. And then it's like that crying Indian in those commercials growing up, right? All right, guys, I got to get going. Have a great rest of your day. I'll get the replay posted here shortly. I will send out a text alert right now with the synthetic stock, with the protective put, and the upside call on Amazon. And then I'll get the replay up here shortly. Okay. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. Fights on. Namaste. I'll see you tomorrow.